question. Anyway, on his recent improvement of play, now he's doing so well at Napoli, he was asked what's happened, and he said, not much has happened other than me getting into a good football team. You like that, don't you, Stevie?
Oh, that is fantastic. You know what? You don't need huge, big stories and all kinds of fairy tales. You just need straight talking, get to the point. Don't spend 3 days trying to tell everybody, I'm now playing for a good team. End of story. There you go. That's all you need to know, and that is bang on the truth.
Can it be that simple that someone can just say that and just claim it wasn't the environment for him?
Yeah, I mean, because you know, it's easier to play with better players. It's easier to work under a better manager, which at this moment in time, Antonio Conte is much more successful manager around Europe. And of course, this is a Napoli side that have won titles. So it's a new, you know, it's a new environment. It's away from the toxicity of what Man United has been with, you know, the bad apples at the club being sent to the training ground at whatever time it was to train on their own, and the performances and the manager's stubbornness to change things, and of course your confidence just drains. And it's not just a flick of a switch. You just don't go in there and that happens. You've got to go in there, you work hard, you train hard, you take your opportunity. And thus far, early doors, he has done that. But I dare say he'll be getting a better look at goal-scoring opportunities playing for Napoli, and this stating the obvious, than he was in this Manchester United side.
You know, you got to feel for Rasmus Hojlund. You know, there's no question the mistake wasn't his going to Manchester United, because nobody in his position at his age is going to turn down Manchester United. It's Manchester United that's a problem. Bringing in somebody like him, who's still learning his craft, who's way off being the finished article, a player who needs experience around them, he needs help around them, both on and off the field. And Manchester United don't do that. They don't give that to anybody, but yet they still go and sign young players. So knowing that previously they've tried to do that, and all they've done is make themselves worse, because the young players who are not ready can't handle the pressure. And Rasmus Hojlund is the greatest example of a guy who was stuck up front, a big fee, and he was left on his own, basically. He was left on his own to fight against 2 or 3 centre-backs, maybe get a half chance every now and again, and then when he didn't take it, by the time he was finished at Manchester United, people were just looking at him as if this guy's just not good enough, when he was never, ever put in a position to succeed. And that's what he is. That's where he is now. He's now in a position with both Napoli and the international team. He's in a position now where he's going to succeed. And as you're talking about his confidence, it's going to go from there. It's going to go through the roof.
Because he knows Italian football anyway, doesn't he? From before.
Of course.
Yeah.
From his time at, I think it was Atalanta. So he's a bit more comfortable there. But it's quite ironic, really, that, you know, and he wasn't ready to come in and lead the line for a club like this. In some sense, Benjamin Sesko's in a similar situation. Absolutely. He's got a couple of goals, but he hasn't looked great. Yep. Even the game against Brentford, I didn't see the Sunderland game, but even the game against Brentford away from home, he got his goal there, but he did not really participate in the game. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe's talking about knee-jerk reactions. When you're bringing in younger players, as they have, you're bringing in younger players because you're supposed to be building for the future. And yet, when the younger player is struggling and doesn't perform, you sort of out him on loan to another country. But it's different for the manager, because he's getting 3 years. And maybe they'll say, well, we're sending him to Napoli to further his progress, and then we're going to bring him back and everything's going to be rosy. But it looks to me as if the manager's just gone, I don't fancy him. I don't fancy him. So a little bit of rules for one and rules for others, but I'm pleased for the boy, because the one thing you could never say about Rasmus Hojlund and his time at Man United, if we take that in isolation, you could never question his work rate. His work rate was always top drawer. Yep. Finishing, the service he got, and the rest of it, and his confidence, that went to pot. But his work rate was terrific.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, I was thinking when you were speaking there, Craig, have we ever seen a club having so many players going out and become better in other clubs? I mean, we talked a lot about this, but they leave Manchester United and they get into great players. I mean, Hojlund, Anthony, McTominay. I mean, just keep them coming. Everybody leaves Manchester United, improves. And if that is a proof for Sir Jim to say, oh, there's something great with this culture, let's keep this culture on for 3 years. Let's take players on and send them out and get them to improve. That is a model I've never seen in football before. I was thinking about Bayern Munich. Did they send any players in doing that in Liverpool? No, that never happened before. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yes, but it's something... Yes, Conte is playing a different football and all those kind of things. But to be in a team that they need to understand your runs. And I felt sorry. We all talked about that. We felt sorry for Rasmus Hojlund being a striker because he tried all the time. His attitude, you can just see his body language, that his attitude and his self-confidence was going down. And that is not a good proof of a good culture at the club.
Yeah, to Jan's point, Frank, it is yet another player who's left this culture and this environment at Manchester United and is succeeding away from Old Trafford.
Yeah, that's crazy, and that's really a statement. It says a lot about the environment and how difficult it is for any player to settle down. I mean, Mason Mount is a perfect also example of somebody coming to winning the Champions League with Chelsea and deciding to leave and signing for Manchester United and drowning with everybody else. That's crazy. And it goes for every club. Look at Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, when they signed like 3 years ago with Chelsea, not knowing exactly where they were going, in difference with what they are now and what they do now because the environment is better. So Sir Ratcliffe should be more involved in that question mark because that's the key. You have to change the way you think the football, the way you think the club, and the way it should work. It doesn't work right now. And when you see, and Jan is made a very good point, and you mentioned that again, it's crazy to see how many players living on loan, Manchester United, and being performant outside. That says a lot.
It's just very unfair on Man United. I mean, they have just beaten Sunderland, you know. Come on, this is very negative from the FC show.